Hey lovely sexy gaming people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be a quick unboxing and build for the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines Vindicator tank. Sorry, Vindicator tank I should say. Vindictors, that's Age of Sigmar. So this is the first time I've purchased one of these. But yeah, I'm keen to crack it open. I understand there's a few little extra bits that only come with this particular kit. But let's have a look at the back. So we get obviously some exploded pictures of the various parts, etc. Your sides and ends are just that. So now GW have or are here to be moving away from cellophaning all of their products, which I think is great. And they're just sealing the ends now with a sellotape tab. So here we go. One Space Marine Vindicator. Let's have a look at the plastic in a mo. Just have a quick look through the instructions. So, nice exploded picture there. And basically it pretty much goes together the same way that a Rhino does for the first few stages. And you basically get all the parts that you would need to make a Rhino. With the addition of the demolisher cannon and the dozer blade that go on the front. And I think these are fantastic. It looks like on the dozer blade we've got two pieces which can or cannot, but might be optional to be quite honest by the look of it. Obviously we've got a vision slot here for the driver, so there's a vision slot in the dozer blade just there, but I wonder if you could leave these off so that you could obviously utilise the lamps, the driving lamps. Okay, so this, obviously it's a vehicle, so it has a degrading stat line with regards to a lot of stuff that it does. But it essentially has initially a 10-inch move, 6 up weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, strength 6, toughness 8, 11 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8, and it's got a 3 up save. And obviously that deteriorates the more wounds it has. So let's break into this. Oh wow, okay, so I haven't seen this particular Space Marine transfer sheet before. This is 2023 print. There's lots of stuff on here. I'm not particularly seeing anything other than Space Wolves, Raptors, Imperial Fists and Smurf Marines, unfortunately. But we've got some warning triangles here, which are quite cool. Okay, like I say, I've not seen one of those before. So, first sprue. Yeah, it's the Rhino sprue. So you've got the upper hull and one side, inner and outer. We've got the rear ramp, the front glacis, side doors. This is for the, if you make it into a Razorback. We then have the other side, inside and out, the bottom of the hull, the separating partition for the driver's compartment and the troop compartment. Obviously more track, top hatches. Yeah, so this is the bit I'm interested in. And you know what? This looks really fab. So obviously we've got the top deck here, This is the only hatchway engine deck, and here is your dozer blade. Now this has these cut out slits, which I'm assuming will line up with the lamps, the driving lamps, and from the look of it, well, apparently these are hinged, so you could, if you so wished, have them down. Obviously they get put up, for the protection of the lamps. It's a fair old demolisher shell which hangs off a crane on the back. And you know what? I honestly thought that there was something in here, but it might come with the whirlwind. A little toolbox. I think it might come with the whirlwind actually. But that's a fair old dozer blade on that. I might model it with the flaps for the driving lights down. I kind of like that idea, just to make it something a little different. And then obviously these parts here go into the recesses on the front. This is kind of like your extra armour that goes on the side. So these extra bits go on the side to give additional protection to the exhaust stacks, etc. That is really cool. This will be the front glasses plate. So this replaces the front glasses plate, so that you can put the demolisher cannon in it, which is this bad boy. And it reminds me very much of the Brum Tiger, Brum Bar, which was basically a, I think it might have been a, did they do a Brum Panther and a Brum Tiger? Essentially it's like a Yagged Tiger. So it had like the sloping front armour, but it had a massive demolisher cannon sort of thing in the front. Look it up. I think it's a Brum Tiger, or either Brum Tiger. They did a Panther version, I think, so that'd be a Brum Panther, or it might just been called a Brum Panzer, B-R-U-M, Brum. So that's that. And obviously then we just get the additional bits, the usual additional bits. So I'll obviously be putting on the smoke dischargers on the side of the hull, the towing hooks, etc. We're only using one hatch, so we're going to have some spares left over, etc., which is cool. Spares are always good. And we get our hunter killer missile. All right then, right, fantastic. That was it. Come back and we'll get it built. Hey lovelies. Right, so we are going to build a Vindicator. So I am going to just build this up. Initially, it's the basic steps to build a Rhino. And essentially you're going to build up the majority of this as if you are building a Rhino. It's only after you put the top cover on, the top of the hull, that you will start to divert and start with the building the parts for the Vindicator. So you're not going to use any side doors on this. You're going to use the rear ramp, but that's as far as you're going with kit parts. down on your properly assigned pins. So there we go. Right, now what we're going to do is just obviously make sure you make a note of which way round the tread is actually going. And quite simply, this is all you're going to do for like the main part of the running gear. Then we're coming in with the 3, like so. Then you're going to pop on a 1, and then a 2. And this is basically repeated at the back as well. So like thus, and like I say, it's exactly the same on the back. Your 3 goes in, then your 1, and then the 2. Right, and then that is, just make sure you're straight. Yeah. And that's it. So you're going to end up with 2 sides. Okay. Then we're going to come in and glue the floor pan in. And I have absolutely no problem with gluing the rear ramp shut on my rhinos. And then just marry up. And just marry up and try and make sure you get an even fill on the back door. And then you're actually putting the top piece on, because the front glacis plate will come in a bit later on. A bit of flash just on the corner there. did you glue in? Now, as a kit, it is showing its age a little bit, but it still goes together reasonably well. Okay, and right, so, and then you're just going to push this together slightly just to make sure it's going to bond on all the surfaces. I do need to buy myself a couple of little sash cramps or something. I've got some elastic bands here. They've been in this pot a little while, so hopefully they won't be too brittle. Ooh. Ta-da! Right, I've actually lost a piece, which is really annoying. I've lost a piece for the winch, but we are going to proceed. So we have built up our Rhino chassis to this point. Now, I'm going to chuck on these side pieces. I've already done one side. Literally, they just slot in there. And that's that. Right, now, the next thing that goes on is the top. So we have the top. Now this is going to need, because this is slightly warped. If I push down on that side, you might just see that there's a bit of movement at that end, and obviously if I do it, then you can hear it at that end. Which is a bit annoying, but you know, it is what it is. So this is going to have to be, I need to buy myself some sash cramps, some little modelling sash cramps, so that I can literally use them to hold things down. It's on my list of bits to get. I just haven't got round to it yet. So we're going in with the back to begin with. Push that down. Now the other thing as well is we've got these these fume extractors. A lot of people seem to think this is part of the engine, but if we look back at various plan drawings, etc., that we've done of, or have been done of rhinos, then the engines are literally these four parts here. So this is going to be, if this was real life siege tank, then potentially these would be the extractor, the fume extractors. because when you fire a shell for demolition, you're probably going to produce an awful lot of fumes. So these will be the fume extractors for the gun. And that's just going to go in there. Right, now let's come along. Will these big ass clamps, oh, they don't open. They don't open as wide as I need them to. So I'm going to hold that down, and then what I think we're going to do is come in with some of these little ones, and that is really not helping. Annoying to say the least. Right. In that case, let's get a couple of these little ones on. Like thus. And even the sides are up. That's really annoying. So there is I mean, it may just be that I've got one that as it was ejected has landed wonky, and so as it's cooled, it's been allowed to warp. But let's just get that down and let's see. No, I haven't got enough purchase there. But I kind of have there. Okay. Yeah. Such a bugger. Okay, leave that. Hopefully they will stay on. There's a few things that we can be doing. Right, the other something else that we need to do. In fact, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the shell together because I want that to dry, because this is probably going to need a bit of sanding. Once it's gone off. Right, let's put that aside. Now, the gun mantlet. Now the gun mantlet, it's a clever way that they've done this. I do like it. It's not atypical of the way that you often see tank guns in model kits being done. Right. that's going to mount in there. Like so. So there's your gun mantlet, and the way this is mounted is it goes on to the back of the glasses plate, and then it connects to the gun mantlet. Now in theory this will allow the gun to pivot, and I'm going to see how that's going to look. Actually, that's not too bad. There's a little bit of sideways movement on this. But yeah, no, that's all right. Doesn't stay. Hopefully get a bit of paint on it, and that'll help stiffen it up. And then we have the sensor suite, which goes on top of the vehicle. And I've already stuck one on, but the headlamps go onto the glasses plate here. Just straighten that up. Okay, right. Let's have a see what a disaster this is. This still hasn't fully gone down, so I may need to chuck some filler on that, annoyingly. That's not going to go in there. Right, let's leave that there. Let's do this dozer blade. Now, your dozer blade is going to go like that, basically. As much as I'd like to have these down, unfortunately they don't. I mean, you could glue them flat, but then the hinge isn't in place. It looks wrong. If you were to glue it so that the hinge was there, these would be flapping about at an angle like that. So I've decided to just go with sticking them in. So ordinarily what I would say is, if you had them down, is that they would come down, and you see they've got a latch here that clips them in place. You would have a latch like that down here to push across and keep it in place. That's my view anyway. Anyhow, your next bit is the side, and this is actually fairly easy. So that's that. And then you've got these two hydraulic arms, one on each side, and they go into position there. So square that up. And then I'm kind of hoping that that's going to be an easy slot onto the thing. Now I've got Dark Angel's machine, so I have one of these on my side door. I can't put the usual Dark Angel's icon on the front glasses because it won't fit. But I have one of these on the side door. Of my Dark Angel's vehicles. Right, that'll do. Okay then, so first thing I'm going to lob in is the front glasses plate. And that goes on like so. And sits in. Now, because this is a siege vehicle, essentially a lot of this is extra armour, extra bolt-on armour. Then we have this top piece, right, which is the vision port. So again, if you wanted, you could have it so that it's either closed or you can have it up. I'm just going to keep it closed. And there you go. That's what we're looking at so far. Now, your add-on armour will go on, and these rivets, there's actually dimple holes in the add-on armour, so they have thought about this. And that add-on armour is going to go on like so. Your other piece on the other side. So your sensor suite's going to go in there. You're going to have to glue it down. But you also have this piece here, which I couldn't decide. I've been playing with this, dry fitting it, and I can't decide if it goes. It doesn't go like that. It doesn't go that high up. It literally goes there because the mantlet will rest on it. So it literally goes there, but don't tilt. I'm fairly certain it doesn't tilt back. You're just going to have to pop it in place. And then glue it so that it's actually at a 90-degree angle to the floor. Okay, like so. Now, in theory, this I should be able to just, now that the glue's had plenty of time to go off, just prise apart slightly, and then that should slot in place like so. Okay. You can, if you want to, glue that. Right, let's glue the sensor suite in place. And I just need to take some other parts off the sprue now and just finish up some of the other bits. Hey, lovely people. Right. So, I can't find the winch cable to complete the winch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to improvise for now. And I'm going to stick the winch cable on, or the winch housing on. But I will just not put the winch assembly in. So the winch housing is made up of 3 parts here. So 1, and then this one. Like that. And then this housing glues over the back door. So now I'm going to try and improvise a winch or something. The grab for the shells is literally the 2 grabs and the center bar. And this, just pop it down on the bench and just get that as square as possible. Now, just notice that there's a slightly slimmer pincher and a wider pincher, and that is to obviously take effect of the different widths of the shell. The ammunition shell that it's supposed to be holding. And then the commander's cupola. Like so. Make sure that's as straight as possible. Doesn't have to be, because obviously commander's cupolas can rotate. And then just put your 2 halves of your hatch on. And glue. And that's it. That's as far as I'm going to take it at the moment. But there you go, one Vindicator. And I will get the shell sorted out and the winch repaired in some way. I might have to fashion something. Find an appropriately sized thread and a little spool that I can just cut to size and go in there. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.